Before I begin speaking, listen to me with the seriousness heaven used when your child's name was spoken, and do not scroll or skip because what I am about to reveal contains warnings, signs, and protection that your spirit already sensed but your mind has not yet understood. Heaven saw what happened at your child's school, and the truth of it shook the angels assigned to your child, and that is why I, Archangel Michael, have been sent to speak directly to you, to awaken your awareness, sharpen your instincts, and reveal the danger that came near your child without your knowledge. Today, your child walked into school with innocent intentions, carrying their bright spirit, their open heart, their gentle energy, and their natural light that others can feel even before your child speaks, but someone at that school, someone whose heart carries insecurity, jealousy, brokenness, or unhealed darkness, felt threatened by your child's presence, and instead of responding with kindness, they responded with spiritual hostility, emotional attack, silent resentment, or harmful intention, disguised behind a smile. Your child may not have told you everything, not because they want to hide it but because they don't yet have the language to express the confusion they felt in that moment, but heaven saw it clearly, the discomfort, the sudden heaviness, the shift in energy, the way your child's spirit recoiled for a split second before pretending everything was normal. What happened today was not physical and not obvious, it was spiritual, emotional, silent, and invisible to the untrained eye, but heaven does not miss what people hide, and heaven saw someone's jealousy, someone's harsh words, someone's manipulative comment, someone's bitter reaction, or someone's intention to belittle your child to regain control in their own weak life. Your child felt it too. They may have acted normal when you saw them after school, but inside they carried a small bruise on their spirit, something you might have mistaken as tiredness or moodiness, but it was not that. It was your child trying to process a moment that their heart did not deserve. Children do not always speak about the moments that wounded them, they show it in subtle ways, by becoming quiet, by hesitating to talk about their day, by looking away when you ask questions, by suddenly wanting to be alone, by clinging to you longer than usual, or by acting more emotional over small things. This is not a behavioral issue, this is spiritual overload. Today, someone's energy tried to attach to your child, tried to discourage them, tried to intimidate them, tried to dim their confidence, but heaven stepped in before the damage could complete its work. I saw the moment it happened. Your child's guardian angel stood closer, their wings tightening around your child as a shield, and I felt the spiritual temperature shift as heaven blocked the arrow that was meant for your child's heart. You must understand that your child's light is strong, their presence disrupts the darkness inside others, and children with great destinies attract attacks early, especially at school, the place where identity is shaped, confidence is tested, friendships determine self-worth, and small emotional wounds can grow into lifelong scars if not healed quickly. Heaven revealed what happened so you can intervene not with fear but with wisdom. Your child experienced a spiritual hit today, someone's envy, someone's cruelty, someone's sarcasm, someone's rejection, someone's attempt to make them feel small, but they are too young to know how to express it. But you will recognize the signs if you pay close attention. Heaven saw that your child walked away from a certain person faster than usual. Heaven saw that they stayed unusually quiet during a moment when they normally speak with ease. Heaven saw their spirit dim just slightly, a shift you would miss if you were distracted, but heaven sees what human eyes overlook. I must reveal the truth. Someone at school does not want to see your child succeed, feel confident, or rise into who they are becoming. This may be a teacher who favors another child, a classmate who feels threatened by your child's intelligence or kindness, or a person whose own insecurities push them to harm others emotionally. But hear me, the attack did not succeed. Heaven blocked it, and God assigned more protection today than ever before. But this is only the beginning of what I must reveal. What you must understand now is that what happened at school was not about the situation itself, it was about the spiritual intention behind it, because the enemy is fully aware of the power inside your child, the potential that is already forming, the influence they will one day carry, and the way their presence disrupts darkness even when they don't speak. Your child carries an anointing that other children can feel, that adults react to, and that insecure souls cannot handle. The darkness tries to strike early because it fears what your child will become. Today at school, the enemy tried to access your child's mind through emotional wounding, through social dynamics that create insecurity, through moments of rejection that cause self-doubt, through subtle cruelty that chips away at confidence, but heaven intervened before any of these seeds could take root. The moment someone's negative intention was directed toward your child, I felt the spiritual vibration shift, and your child's guardian angel moved instantly, blocking the emotional arrow and absorbing the attack before it could settle inside your child's heart. But today's attempt revealed something heaven needs you to see. There is someone in your child's environment whose energy is unsafe for them. This person might look harmless, might seem polite, might even appear supportive, but their spirit reacts with discomfort, envy, or negativity when your child walks into the room. They may not show it openly, but they express it through microactions, criticizing your child subtly, excluding them quietly, overlooking them intentionally, belittling them in disguised ways, or treating them differently when others aren't watching. Your child feels this. Children feel energy before they understand behavior. And that is why your child may act differently after school, more sensitive, more reserved, more emotional, or more easily overwhelmed, because today their spirit met someone who does not carry good intentions toward them. Heaven is revealing this so you can pay attention without fear. Watch your child's reactions, their silence, their body language, their sudden hesitations. These are clues. If your child avoids talking about a certain class, certain kid, or certain adult, it is because their spirit is unsettled by that presence. But do not panic, because heaven has already placed a shield around your child. Today's attack failed. But now heaven needs you to take your position as the earthly guardian. Your intuition will be heightened over the next few days. You will feel sudden nudges to ask specific questions, to observe certain patterns, to check in emotionally, or to intervene in small ways that may seem insignificant but are actually spiritually guided. This is heaven working through you. Today, I saw something else. Your child had a moment where they considered doubting themselves, a moment where someone's words or actions made them question their value, whether they belonged, whether they were enough, whether they were liked, whether they were seen, whether they mattered, and that was the moment the enemy tried to slip a lie into their heart. But God stopped it. Your child did not absorb that lie, they only felt the sting of the moment. The wound is small, but you must heal it before it grows. Speak life over them. Remind them of their strengths. Encourage their gifts. Make them feel seen, heard, valued, and safe. Your words will undo what the enemy attempted. Heaven showed me another moment. Your child looked around the classroom or hallway and for a second felt alone, disconnected, or invisible. This was not a coincidence. This was the spiritual atmosphere trying to isolate them emotionally, because emotional isolation opens the door for insecurity. But heaven saw it and sent comfort immediately. You may have noticed your child was calmer when they reached you after school. That was not chance, that was spiritual protection wrapping around them as they stepped back into your presence. But you must be aware now, something is happening at your child's school that requires your attention. A shift is coming, and heaven wants you to recognize the signs before they intensify. And the next part of this message holds details you must not miss. Heaven is showing me more, and you must stay with me because what I reveal next is not to create fear but to give you the clarity needed to protect your child's spirit, because at your child's school, there is a pattern forming, subtle, quiet, almost invisible, but it carries spiritual significance. Your child is being spiritually tested not because they are weak but because they are powerful, and the enemy always tries to discourage a child before they discover their identity. Today, someone's words or actions at school were meant to plant confusion inside your child, to make them question whether they belong, whether they are important, whether they are capable, whether they matter, and this emotional disruption was an intentional spiritual attempt to distort your child's perception of themselves. Heaven saw it the moment it happened. Your child's spirit dimmed for a moment, like a small cloud passing over a bright light, and that dimming was the enemy's goal, to make your child shrink, to make them feel small, to make them become quieter, less confident, less expressive, less willing to step into their natural brilliance. But heaven did not allow the attack to succeed. Instead, the very moment your child felt that internal shift, angels surrounded them with comfort, protection, and spiritual warmth, and the darkness was forced to withdraw without planting the seed it intended. But heaven wants you to know exactly what happened so you can reinforce your child's protection emotionally. There is also someone at the school, a child or adult, whose spirit reacts strongly to your child's light. This person carries insecurity, and when your child shines naturally, it exposes the darkness in them. This person may compete with your child, exclude them, misunderstand them, copy them, or criticize them, but the root is jealousy, and jealousy is the doorway the enemy uses to attack destinies. Pay attention to who seems bothered by your child's presence, who becomes tense when your child speaks, who gives backhanded compliments, who dismisses their ideas, who tries to make them feel inferior, or who pretends to be a friend but acts differently when others are around. These behaviors are not random, they are spiritual indicators. Your child may not know how to verbalize what they felt, but they will show it through shifts in mood. If your child seemed quieter than usual, if they avoided eye contact when you asked about school, if they exaggerated a smile to hide discomfort, if they shrugged and said nothing too quickly, if they refused to talk about a certain situation, these are signs of spiritual interference that your child cannot yet process. Heaven needs you to see what they cannot say. And now I must reveal something deeper. Your child carries a calling that is beginning to activate. They are starting to see the world differently, feel emotions more deeply, notice things others overlook, and sense energy around them. These are early signs of spiritual gifts developing. Children with empathy, intuition, creativity, or leadership callings are often targeted early because their future influence is enormous. Your child is one of them. Their spirit is awakening, and as it awakens, the enemy tries to confuse them by distorting their experiences. But heaven has stepped in to ensure clarity wins over confusion. Over the next few days, watch for unusual signs: your child having vivid dreams, your child expressing sudden wisdom beyond their age, your child asking deep questions, your child withdrawing from certain people, your child becoming emotionally reactive in unexpected moments, your child sensing tension even when no one speaks. These are signals that their spiritual senses are opening. Heaven wants you to guide them gently, support them emotionally, and speak confidence into them daily. If your child expresses fear, do not dismiss it. If they express discomfort around someone, do not force them to interact. If they express sadness without reason, comfort them first and ask questions later. Their spirit is communicating through emotion. What happened at your child's school today was an early attack meant to break their confidence before their gifts grow stronger. But heaven stopped it instantly. Still, you must understand the seriousness of the situation. Someone at school carries negative energy toward your child, and this person is the weak point the enemy tries to use. You must watch closely now, because the next part of this message reveals the exact nature of the threat and what heaven is preparing next. Heaven is showing me more, and what comes next is something you must hear with full awareness, because the spiritual realm has not only revealed what happened at your child's school today but also why it happened, who was involved, and what is forming around your child's future, and none of this is accidental. Your child carries an aura that unsettles darkness, a presence that exposes hidden intentions, and a purity that irritates spirits of jealousy, insecurity, and manipulation in others. That is why the enemy chose the school environment to strike, because school is where children form their identity, where their confidence grows or breaks, where friendships shape their self-worth, and where emotional wounds can turn into limiting beliefs that follow them into adulthood. The enemy wanted to wound your child early, before their spirit could fully awaken, before their confidence solidifies, before their gifts strengthen, before their destiny begins to manifest. But heaven saw it all. Heaven saw the moment someone at school looked at your child with resentment, the moment someone spoke with a tone meant to belittle them, the moment someone laughed at them to embarrass them, the moment someone excluded them from a circle, the moment someone whispered something near them just to trigger insecurity, the moment someone purposely ignored them to make them feel invisible, the moment someone projected their own brokenness onto your child because your child's light exposed the darkness they hide. Heaven saw everything. Nothing was missed. And I must reveal this truth: the person who affected your child today is someone who struggles internally, someone who has unhealed wounds, someone who feels inferior around your child, someone who carries emotional instability, someone who masks their darkness with behavior that appears normal but is spiritually harmful. This is not about the person's age, gender, or status, it is about their spirit. Your child's spirit recognized the disturbance immediately, even if they couldn't express it. Children respond spiritually before they understand emotionally. If your child suddenly became quieter, overwhelmed, closed off, or sensitive after school, it is because their spirit encountered negative energy that attempted to attach to them. But before any spiritual harm could anchor itself, heaven intervened. Your child's guardian angel stood between them and the attack, absorbing what was meant to harm your child's heart, turning the emotional arrow into nothing but a temporary discomfort. But now heaven needs you to reinforce the protection in the physical world. In the coming days, your child may express more emotions than usual: frustration, sadness, confusion, clinginess, or sudden bursts of anger. Do not punish these emotions, guide them gently. These are aftershocks of a spiritual hit that did not land but was felt. Comfort them. Listen closely. Ask open questions. Give them space to express without pressure. Also, watch who your child avoids, because avoidance is spiritual intelligence. If your child hesitates walking into a certain class, avoids eye contact with a certain individual, clings to you when you mention school, or suddenly doesn't like someone without explanation, believe them. Children cannot always explain spiritual discomfort, but they feel it accurately. Heaven is asking you to trust their signals. There is another truth you must hear: your child is stepping into a season of emotional and spiritual growth that will make them more sensitive to energy, more aware of people's intentions, and more expressive about discomfort. This is not weakness, it is awakening. Their intuition is sharpening. Their spirit is learning to recognize danger. Their empathy is expanding. Their awareness is increasing. Heaven is preparing them for a future where they will lead, influence, or uplift others. But before they step into that calling, the enemy will try to destabilize their identity. That is why the attack happened today. It was an attempt to plant a lie in your child's heart before their truth becomes too powerful. But heaven blocked it. And now something even greater is forming. Your child will soon show signs of emotional strength you have not seen before. They will begin asking deeper questions about themselves, about people, about emotions, about good and evil, about fear, about their purpose. They may begin dreaming vividly, sensing things before they happen, or reacting strongly to environments that carry hidden tension. This is the beginning of spiritual maturity. You must not shut it down. Instead, guide it with wisdom. The darkness failed today, but it will watch for another opening, through exhaustion, through emotional overwhelm, through influence from others, through careless words spoken by people who do not understand the sensitivity of your child's spirit. But heaven is revealing all of this so you can intercept every attempt with awareness. Your child's destiny is too powerful to be touched, too protected to be stolen, too chosen to be destroyed. And yet the message is still not complete. What comes next will reveal the future steps heaven is preparing for your child's protection and rise. Why? Heaven is not finished speaking, because now you must understand the most important part of this message. What happened at your child's school today was not just an attack, it was a revelation, a signal from the spiritual realm showing you exactly where to watch, who to observe, and what to protect as your child grows into their destiny. The enemy targeted your child because your child carries a rare kind of light, a purity that disrupts dark intentions, a natural goodness that challenges broken spirits, and a spiritual intelligence that reveals truth even when they don't speak. This light makes your child noticeable, not just physically, but spiritually. Some people feel warmth around your child, others feel irritation. Some feel drawn to your child, others feel threatened. Some admire your child's gifts, others envy them. These reactions are spiritual, not personal. And heaven is showing you that one specific individual at school, someone your child interacts with or crosses paths with, has a spirit that does not align with your child's path. This person may not be evil, but they are spiritually unstable, carrying emotional wounds, jealousy, insecurity, or negative energy that reacts aggressively to your child's presence. This person attempted, intentionally or not, to lower your child's confidence, to distort their perception of themselves, or to weaken the strength of their identity. But they failed. Heaven blocked it instantly. And now, heaven is preparing to remove this influence entirely, either by shifting relationships, moving people away, exposing hidden intentions, or redirecting your child's social environment. A divine rearrangement is coming. You will notice that certain people in your child's life begin to drift away naturally, conversations shift, groups change, friendships evolve, and new connections form that carry more safety, kindness, and alignment with your child's destiny. This is not coincidence, it is spiritual protection manifesting physically. Your child will also begin to express themselves differently, they will show new confidence, new emotional clarity, new awareness, new intuition. They may open up to you about things they previously kept quiet, or they may start asking questions that reveal deeper understanding of what they experienced emotionally. When this happens, listen with your soul, not just your ears. Your child's spirit is speaking. Now hear this final prophecy clearly: your child's destiny is rising, and the enemy knows it. That is why the attack happened early. That is why jealousy formed around them. That is why someone tried to dim them. That is why today felt heavier than other days. But what the enemy did not expect was the speed and force of heaven's response. When heaven saw what happened today, it did not stay silent, not for a second. It released protection immediately. It reassigned additional angels to your child. It sealed the doors the enemy tried to enter. It surrounded your child's spirit with light so strong that darkness cannot come near them again. From this moment forward, your child will walk under increased protection. Their confidence will heal. Their joy will return stronger. Their spirit will rise higher. Their gifts will grow faster. Their destiny will unfold in ways that even darkness cannot predict. And you, yes, you, have been chosen as their earthly guardian to watch, protect, guide, and support them as heaven continues to fight for them. Heaven saw what happened at your child's school. Heaven responded instantly. And heaven will not allow what was meant for harm to become anything more than a lesson that strengthens your child's future. Stay aware. Stay present. Stay spiritually awake. Your child is not alone, they never were. Their name is known in heaven, their path is protected, and their destiny is untouchable.